Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm testing the Smiley Mini Rubber Duck 2-meter antenna. If you'd like to see how well this performs, please watch the video all the way to the end and you'll get all the tests and results of all the testing that I did. All right, thanks. I'll be right back. This is Dave with Ham Radio GMRS Test and Review. My call sign is N8DAV and the motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking on the bell icon so you get notified every time I release a video. I'd really appreciate that, and thank you again for your consideration. All right, today I'm testing the Smiley Mini Rubber Duck for 2-meter. Now, this particular antenna is the same length as the stubby duck, so go figure. But we'll see if there's any difference in how well it performs. All right, so this is what it looks like with the radio. All right, so the length of this antenna is 4.5 inches. It's a flexible antenna covered in rubber and plastic. I ordered it with the BNC male connector, and as you know, I've standardized on BNC connectors for all my HTs. The manufacturer does not specify anything in particular as far as resonance or a wave or anything like that. So the only thing that they do specify, two things. One is that this antenna has a 3 dB gain, and the other thing is that it is tuned at 146.25 megahertz plus or minus 5 megahertz. All right, so I'll be testing within that range, and you can tell by how the tests perform, how the antenna performs the tests, then you'll see how well it works. So next time you see me, I'll start off with all the SWR testing. We'll go into the field strength testing, and then we'll go out into the real world testing where I'm going to take this to my super secret testing facility, right? It's a little bit tougher on antennas, and so I thought, considering all these Smiley antennas have worked so pretty good so far, that might be a good test for it. All right? All right. Be right back. All right, I've got my antenna set up on the antenna test bed. I've already established a baseline for the test bed using my signal stick antenna, and I get an SWR of 1.1 or less, and if I get that, then I know that the baseline is set up correctly on my antenna setup. So now I have the Smiley Mini Rubber Duck antenna, and we are going to test the SWR using the power SWR meter. And we get an SWR of 2.96. All right, as I always do, I always back up the power SWR meter test that I do with the NanoVNA. So when I turn on the NanoVNA, it will default to 2 meters, so we'll see immediately what the curve looks like. Okay, we have an interesting curve here. And we have an SWR of 3.347. All right, 3.347. All right, now we're testing the field strength of the Smiley Mini Duck for 2 meter. As you know, I always test at the same exact distance using a fully charged battery, using the same exact radio. The only difference, of course, is the antenna itself. I will run this test, and at the end of the video, I will go over the results of this and all the other tests. All right, I'm out here at my super secret testing facility, and I've shown you guys before in some other videos what it looks like around here. I'm out in the middle of the forest, and you know, it's pretty empty out here. So anyway, I come out here to test my HT antennas, and I come out here because it's 3.7 miles. Sorry about that. 3.7 miles as the crow flies. I have quite a few obstacles now over here. Besides, sorry about that. Besides having a home and a whole bunch of trees and a overpass of some sort, I also have a hill or two that actually blocks my my actual line of sight. So I don't have line of sight to my shack. I'm blocked. So there are some obstructions, but it's not impossible for a good antenna to get through and to receive. So I always rank this test in two different ways. One would be an excellent test would have absolutely no static or such little static and great modulation. A good test will be a fair amount of static, but still good modulation. A fair test would be a lot of static and okay modulation, and a failing test would either be so much static that I can't understand what's being said, or not being able to hit the repeater, or not being able to hold it open once I do hit it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the test done, and here we are out at the super secret testing facility. Oh, and I forgot, the other result is what we're going to see on the S-meter reading coming back from the shack. And I am recording it at my shack, and you'll be able to see what the S-meter reading is from the radio and the antenna. N8DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, at the super secret testing facility, testing the Smiley Mini Duck 2 meter. All right, testing 1, 2, 3, and 4. N8DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, at the super secret testing facility, testing the Smiley Mini Duck 2 meter. All right, testing 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, well, I consider that a good test. I had a fair amount of static, as you could hear. But the modulation was excellent. So I consider that a good test. And the S-meter reading from the shack back to this radio here was an 8.75, so almost maxed out at 9. So that's very good. One thing I will say is even though the SWR was a little high on this antenna, and also on the previous 2 meter antenna, you know, I've spoken with Smiley, and they don't tune their antennas for SWR, they tune them for performance. So after we get back and I go through all the different results of all the different tests, and then you can decide for yourself if this antenna really performs or not. So far, compared to some of the other antennas, it looks pretty good. It's actually working pretty good. So, but anyway, I'll let you know when we get back, and I'll be right back. Right, back at the shack. Good friend of mine, Dave, the other day started making fun of me when he came over to the house, and he goes, "Hey, I'm back at the shack." Yeah, people make fun of me. That's okay. I enjoy it. Also joked around about the comment I made about the FCC Nazis, but you know, I would never insult the FCC. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention to you earlier in the video is I forgot to show you the packaging. Here's the packaging that the antenna comes in. It's their usual printed horizontally and printed vertically over here. All right, very nice packaging. If you're the type, like I am, that when you're not using the antenna, you put them back in the package, this is something very nice. I appreciate good packaging. You know, obviously, you pay for it, but I'm willing to pay for it. That's just something that I happen to like. All right, so how did this antenna perform? What did we learn today? That's what I always ask, and this is what we learned. But before we go any farther, I got to tell you, we're having big fires out here. You're not going to be able to see very good blue skies back here because the smoke is coming across. It's getting worse. I can start noticing that it's hard to see things across the street because the smoke is getting so bad here. There's always a possibility that I have to evacuate too, but we'll see. Anyway, so what did we learn? Well, first of all, the SWR from the SWR power meter was 2.96, just under 3. I consider antennas that have 3 or less to be good antennas, or a good SWR for an HT antenna. Sorry, have to be specific there. The previous antenna, the stubby duck, the 2-meter stubby duck, had slightly worse, not too much worse, SWR, both on the power meter and on the NanoVNA. The NanoVNA came out with the 3.347 SWR. It's always a little bit higher, but they're very close. Therefore, I believe that the readings are accurate. Now, if SWR is important to you, in some cases the SWR is not important at all, but in a lot of people feel that SWR is important. That's why I test for the SWR. All right, and once again, a little bit better on this antenna than on the stubby duck antenna. However, with the field strength test, we came out with a minus 1.1 dB, which is a good test, don't get me wrong, but the stubby duck came out at plus 0.8, which is, to me, an excellent test. Just so you know, there's a little bit of a difference. Considering the two antennas are exactly the same length, they're very close, but I don't consider it close enough that they're the same antenna. I think they're definitely different antennas. But anyway, so how did it perform today in the real world modulation tests? All right, it came out with a good test. The test was good. The stubby duck antenna was an excellent test. Wow, that's very interesting. The antenna with the S meter reading out in the field was 8.75. Back at the shack was 8.0, where the stubby duck was 9 plus, both directions. Interesting, huh? All right. So that's all the results that I have. Of course, I paid $23 for it with the BNC connector. I always ask this question: would I buy this antenna myself? And I think in this particular case, I would not buy this antenna. Why? Because the stubby duck antenna, I think, outperformed it for the exact same price, and it's exactly the same length, 4.5 inches. So, you know, Smiley makes a good antenna. This antenna is good, but I think the stubby duck was just a little bit better, and I think it's the stubby duck is worth the money. Where if, of course, if we didn't have the stubby duck, this would be worth the money. But since we do have the stubby duck antenna, I wouldn't buy this antenna, guys. Just my opinion. I know some of you out there might say that I'm wrong, and they might go ahead and buy this antenna anyway. Hey, great, go for it. You're not going to be unhappy with the performance of this antenna. It's a good antenna. I think the stubby duck is just a little bit better. And for the same price, I would rather buy the stubby duck, okay? All right, there we are. There we have it. This is my channel, Ham Radio GMRS Test and Review. And my name is Dave, and the motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. And one last thing, I'm going to be going on vacation next week, starting, I think, around the 5th or the 6th of July. So I won't be putting out videos. You won't be seeing videos for probably 2-3 weeks at least. I'm going to be wandering around Utah, doing all kinds of stuff, and I'll be out at parks. I may do some POTA work out at some of the parks. I haven't made up my mind yet, but anyway, listen, I'm playing everything by ear right now. I can afford to play everything by ear because I've got a lot of time on my hands. All right, being retired, that's what happens. Okay, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and you know, I hope you guys have a great week, and 73.